Here we go then, the first day with the iPad Pro. What's it like? Well, I have to say, it is. It's really interesting. It acts just like an ordinary iPad, except it's so much bigger, which I must admit, when you've got apps with nice graphics like this, it is superb. I really do like it. In terms of the form factor, when you put a case on it, it actually isn't that much bigger, but I tell you what is much bigger. The screen is gigantic. When you put a case on this, however, it's going to be quite a big beastie, and when you compare it to the iPad mini, then this is a large machine. And if anybody thought that the iPad was a little too small for some of our users with additional needs, wow, this thing is just quite incredible. You put it with apps like this and you've got a lovely big surface area to go at. It's really, really nice. So the screen is a thing really worth mentioning on this. For many of our users with additional needs, we do have a much bigger target area here, which is really, really nice. And apps like Sensory Soundbox just work incredibly well. Does this mean I won't be using projectors? No, it doesn't. But this could be a little bit more accessible for some people. Where this big screen comes into its own, if like me you wear glasses, then this, a screen that requires lots of different buttons, is just really cool. That's really, really nice. So the screen, the size of it is wonderful. It's great. And it is, as we would say, wafer thin, which is just gorgeous. However, you're probably going to want to put a case on this, which is going to make it about the size of a laptop. The other problem with this thing is it doesn't really have any connectivity. There's no question the Surface Pro 3 has much better connectivity. It has USB, we've got my video, I can connect straight up to it, SD card can go straight into the back of this thing. Add to that the fact it runs Windows 10, which some people would say is a more grown-up operating system. The iPad may not be as good as this for connectivity and heavy lifting, but I do prefer it. However, in saying that, remember I'm a Mac man and I do have the luxury of having MacBook Pros to work on, so the Surface Pro 3 has never been part of my workflow. So do bear that in mind when you're thinking, should it be Surface Pro, should it be iPad? When you put this onto a stand, nice expensive stand there from TK Maxx, this is really, really nice. And it's got fingerprint recognition for security, which is great for schools. It's really good. Drawback of this, because it's very thin and very light, this is probably the most breakable device you're going to have in the school. And in terms of technology, this one with the stylus is about nearly £1,000, well, 900 and something pounds. That's a lot of money. At least with a Chromebook you're only paying 250 quid to get it thrown across the room. This you're going to have to be a lot more selective. So what you're probably going to say is put a case on it. And yes, the answer is put a case on this, it'll be great. But do you know something? It's going to make it really, really big. Now with apps like Paper by 53, this is going to be brilliant. It's going to be a stunning thing. So when the pen comes out, which it's not yet, we're expecting apps like Paper to be really, really beautiful. This should be a whole lot of fun. And you can see there, for drawing, it's gorgeous. Where this did excel for me yesterday when I was working with this, believe it or not, was with some documents. It was really lovely. If I just pop this up this way, and then what I'm going to do is go into my Google Docs. Now I've found that reading documents and actually working on documents with this is an absolute dream. I'm in Google Docs at the moment and I use Pages and things. There's the keyboard which has just popped up. If you're in a situation where you want to be really, really portable, this thing, you don't want to carry a lot of stuff, this is brilliant. I love the form factor because you can see what we're used to seeing, and that's basically to us almost an A4 page. I really do like this, and I think this is going to help me write a heck of a lot more on the hoof. Now, I know not many people are like this, but this is my favourite third-party keyboard. It's got a lovely feel to it, and it works with the iPad Pro tremendously well. So any keyboard will work, and there are some dedicated keyboards for this thing which are great, but that's my favourite because it basically folds up and I can use it with my iPhone or my Nexus. Now, I like doing photographs and I like doing video, and I have to say I've not really had a chance to try the camera on this thing yet. They say it's quite good. I'd like to be able to use iMovie with this because I think the touch screen will be wonderful for that, but because it's only got one port in the bottom, as always, getting things on and off an iPad is just torture. So unless we put an SD adapter into the bottom of it, I'm probably not going to do that. I know you can get an adapter for it, but what a pain that is. So I'm looking for a good way, if anybody knows, to get movies off my iPhone straight onto this so I can edit in iMovie. That would be brilliant, but at the moment I don't see a way to do that really easily, which is a real shame, because then for me this would be fantastic. And I know I can film with this thing, but gosh, you think people with ordinary iPads look at twit when they're stood there on a concert holding it in the air. Wow, you'd be really popular if you stick this in front of everybody's face. So we'll try the camera out later on, see what it's like, but I think for filming it's a little bit big. Here's a massive plus. I spend a lot of time on the road, and how good is video looking on this thing, especially if you didn't have my shadow in the background. This is fantastic. And the sound...
I didn't come home alone. My husband created a life like Andrew.
The sound on this is absolutely wonderful. It's got 4 speakers. Now it only uses 2 at once, depending on which way up you are. You can see the speakers just on the side there, one there, one there, one there, and one there. But if it's that way, apparently it just uses those 2, and if it's the other way, it uses the other 2. Oh, some jiggery-pokery like that. So, as a production machine, this is interesting. It's nice for watching movies on. I really like stuff. I'm a big mind mapper, and I have to say, touchscreen for mind mapping is great. So, do I like this? Yes, I love this. The only thing I'm worried about is dropping it, but I don't want to put it into a big, bulky case. That's the only problem. So I've no doubt I'm going to have to get a sleeve or something for it to carry it about. Is it going to be any good for us in special ed? Well, let's see. I mean, I think it's one of those situations. If you're portable, you're better off with a standard size iPad or an iPad mini. But you know, for teachers, this could be an absolutely amazing machine. Is it a replacement for a PC? What's a PC these days? Is it a replacement for a Windows machine, is what you might say? Well, yeah, if you've got the right apps, then you can use this like you would any computer to a degree. You can print from it through AirPrint and things like that. And really, if it's going to do what you need it to do, it's great, but don't expect the connectivity that you have with a PC. It's going to be a lot more faff getting stuff on and off this thing. But as a machine, and as always with Apple, it's just beautiful. This is also... this works on the mobile phone network, so I've got 3G or 4G with this, which means I can carry it out on the road with me, which is just fantastic. So as a machine, I'm really liking this. It's the iPad Pro. This is the 128, and maybe in a few weeks I'll let you know how it compares.